Ahoy! Welcome to another video from the Runnies. I'm Mara.
And I'm Tony.
Today we're sharing one of the biggest contributors to our marathon training success, the guidance of the one and only Hal Higdon.
He doesn't know it, but he has been our trainer from day one, and we just call him Hal. Would you like to tell him how we found Hal?
I read like a lot, and when I decided to take up running as a hobby, I wanted to find a book instead of a YouTube tutorial or a podcast about where to start. From there, we also found the website and the app. He has training programs for amateurs and experienced runners of all distances. The book helped us answer many questions every beginner has. How many miles should we run? How many times a week? When should we rest? How do we build mileage? And what the hell is a BQ?
So, who is Hal Higdon? Well, he is the ultimate running trainer. Personal best marathon time of 2 hours, 21 minutes and 55 seconds. Author of 34 books. Ran 8 times in the United States Olympic trials and won 4 World Masters Championships. And is one of the founders of the Road Runners Club of America, or RCA. You can find many of his articles in Runner's World, to which he has contributed to longer than any other writer. I can assure you that I'm more than glad to learn from the guy that has run over 111 marathons.
We combine all 3 resources to create the perfect guide. For us, the book is like a foundation. It gives us the big picture. The app helps us stay on track day to day, and the website is where we go for tips and motivation. Marathon, the Ultimate Training Guide, covers everything you need to know. It has training plans for all levels, advice on nutrition, tips for race day, and even the mental side of running. Hal shares many reflections from people who have also trained with his programs, and it's one of my favorite features of the book. As you can tell, we have the physical book, and it has been clearly used several times because we keep coming back to it depending on the chapter that we need. And I have bookmarked a couple of portions of the book that I wanted to show you. So you have the contents. As you can tell, it's very thorough. It covers BQs, water therapy, the half, the full, how to build mileage. It's pretty cool. And basically, for example, right now I am training for my first half marathon. This is the chapter for it. It covers many things, like has many tips. You can see training for the half. He has like some tips on the side. This one, for example, it covers the most common running injuries. As you can tell, carbs rule. You can totally see what he recommends in matters of nutrition. And it gives you a pretty good idea of what you need depending on if you're an amateur runner or if you're already a Boston marathoner. You can see race day checklist. We have used this one several times when we have to travel for a race. And also at the end, you have the programs. So these you can also find on the website and the app, but he has an idea on the book at the end of it. Half Marathon Novice 1, you have Novice 2, and then you keep going. The same thing for the marathon and Marathon Advanced 2, for example, and the acknowledgements at the end. I think it's very worthwhile, and if you are a person that likes to read and is also thinking about starting up running, I recommend this book entirely.
So this is Hal Higdon's website. We're going to take a quick tour. Here you can download the app. Here you can find the interactive programs, which I think is the most important part of all the website. And this is the section where you can learn a bit more about Hal, and you can also get some of his books. So we're going to go up here. This is the most important part. Is that if you are going to start training for any kind of race, you can find here your race. So let's say training for my first marathon, and then it's going to take us to this side where here's a bit of information about the marathon distance and some quick tips. And then he has all these training programs for each of the distances. So for the marathon, there's a Novice 1, Novice 2, Intermediate 1, Advanced 1 and 2. And then depending on your level of expertise, you can find a race or a training program that adapts to your abilities. If it's our first marathon, we're going to do the Novice 1. Again, it takes us here to the Novice 1 program. Again, a bit of an introduction and a bit of some definitions on what are the different types of training exercise. And this is the program itself. So here you can see this is a table that you can print, or you can just come here and see it on the website or take a screenshot. Here you have miles or in kilometers, and then you have it divided by weeks. So normally he will say, depending on what program you do and for what you're training, you can see if you're trying to train for a marathon, you need at least 18 weeks, or at least that's his recommendation. And if you're doing a half marathon, it's probably going to be something closer to 14 to 12 weeks. So here you can see your week, how he suggests that you schedule, starting from week 1 to week 18. Mondays are always going to be rest days. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are going to be your run days. Fridays is another rest day before your long run, which is on Saturdays. And then finally Sunday is cross training, so biking or walking or hiking. And he schedules you all the way from week 1 to week 18. And in some of these longer distance training, you're going to see that somewhere in between, about halfway through the program, he encourages you to sign off for some kind of race. For example, here a half marathon, where you're going to, I guess, to get a bit of the feeling of race day. I love these programs because I think it makes it easier for all of us that are new to this and we don't have the experience of how to divide, how much mileage to gain by week. It kind of takes all that away. I think that you can safely trust that he knows what he's suggesting, and you just have to check your app or your phone or your printout and just run the amount of mileage that it says here. And then as you can see, the mileage, especially on the long runs, are increasing week by week, and then every 2 weeks it kind of goes down again, so you have a bit of a rest time. So we go 6, 7, and then it goes back to 5, to then increase again to 9, 10, and then it goes down to 7, and then that's how it continues. And then it normally peaks about 3 weeks before your rest. So your longest run is going to be this 20-miler in week 15. So then from that point on, you start going down again, so you are rested for the race day. But even though the website is great, I think the app is even better, because then he also gives you specific recommendations based on your goal time about how fast you should run each day. And that we'll see in the next section when we talk about the app. This is how the app starts. So you can log in with your Google account or your Facebook. Perfect. So now we're in. Here you, of course, are going to try to sell you their premium account. We have not tried the premium, but maybe if this is something that you're interested, we might try it in the future. But this part we can say continue without upgrading. And then let's say that we are going to train for the Providence Marathon, because I know it's in May and we have time to get there. So marathon, and then race day, I think it's around May 5th, May 4th maybe. Perfect. Yes, start the plan tomorrow. It's already telling me that it is too soon for that race, that they will suggest to find in somewhere that is further away. But let's just go with that for now. And then this is the part where you can select any program out of the house, depending on your level of, I guess, expertise. And we're going to be training. Last week we were doing about 4 to 6. What is our easy pay? Perfect. So my easy pay is around 10:35. How do I prefer my long runs? So I always prefer my long runs on Saturdays. I train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is everything that we have inputted so far, and now he's going to make the plan. This is that here we're going to see the distance that we have run, here how much we have run during this week. And then if we select this view, it tells us that we are 84 days away from the race, and it's going to show us the days that we're supposed to run, and in the small numbers, how many miles are we going to run those days. It is going to keep updating itself. We're not able to see any training that is more than 10 days away. This is the part that I like the most about the app, is that it doesn't only tell you how many miles to run, but also at what pace to run it. And that pace is going to be updating according to how you do and how you tell the app that you're doing. So, but we can see here, this is the day of the race, and it's already telling us from the get-go, what do they think that we can run that marathon to, at what pace. And I have to say, for my first experience with this app, it nailed it. So from the get-go, it told me that I could do it in 4 hours and 24 minutes, and I ended up doing, I think, 4 hours and 23 minutes. So it was very, very accurate. I don't know if that was just lucky. It was only my one experience, but at least I can say that that was great. I also love this part. You can connect with your Garmin, and that way, every time you do a run, and if you're using a Garmin watch, doing the pairing will be very easy, because your watch is going to right away sync the information that how many miles, at what pace, and how long did it take you to run each of the exercise, and that way it's very easy, and then you only have to tell them what was your effort level and how tired you were. You can get a bit of snips of some of the, I guess, Hal's wisdom according to your training, where he gives you advice on how to choose nutrition, how to choose your hydration, how to stop and when to stop. Here you can get your stats. This stat part is not to develop, it's fairly basic, only telling you how many miles or what distance and what time have you run so far and what is your average pace and your average exertion level and fatigue level, which is all inputs that you put at the end of each race. We share some of the things we have learned from Hal.
Always remember, start slow. It may feel counterintuitive, but patience truly pays off when you're running 26.2 miles. You need to think about energy conservation and mental management. A slower start helps you settle into a rhythm, gauge how your body is feeling, and build confidence as the race progresses.
Respect the uphills and take advantage of the downhills. You need to approach each terrain wisely by pacing yourself strategically on climbs and using descents efficiently to maintain momentum without wasting energy.
Finish fast. Hal recommends running to the best of your ability through those final challenging miles.
Finally, the rest days keep you healthy. This is one of the tips on Chapter 5. Hal says that you need to bracket the hardest workouts of the week with easy days or days of total rest to avoid the stress that comes with overtraining.
Hal, your guidance has been instrumental in shaping our entire journey as runners. Through your resources and wisdom, we've learned the value of persistence, patience, and finding joy in every mile, even the tough ones. Thank you for making our marathon dreams feel achievable and reminding us why we lace up and push forward one step at a time.
Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments if you have tried Hal Higdon's programs or if you have a favorite training resource.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next run.